I want to share a few words with you from the Bible, and what we're going to be thinking about this morning is how to fear well. Because in the Bible, there are two kinds of fear. There's a bad, kind of negative fear that I guess many of us are struggling with at the moment, the fear of the unknown, the fear of sickness and death and what might happen to us and to our loved ones. But there's a positive kind of fear as well, and we're going to see how that kind of fear leads to hope, not despair. I'm going to read a few words from the Bible, from Psalm 33, written a long time ago. We don't know exactly by whom it was written, but written by somebody who knew God and knew how to deal with tough times. He says this: "The Lord looks down from heaven, he sees all the children of man. From where he sits enthroned, he looks out on all the inhabitants of the earth." The first thing to notice is that God knows what is happening. God knows what is going on at the moment, and he cares about it. He's aware of what's happening to us and how we feel, and he sees what is going on with us. It says then in verse 16, "The king is not saved by his great army, a warrior is not delivered by his great strength. The war horse is a false hope for salvation, and by its great might it cannot rescue." We've got some wonderful things going on at the moment, don't we? We've got a government who's acting decisively and clearly to deal with this situation. We've got incredible healthcare professionals and others who are looking after those who are sick and doing the tests and trying to do all that they can to stop the spread of this. Those things are amazing gifts from God. But he says here that those aren't our ultimate hope. That those things that we trust in, governments and resources and technology, are wonderful, but they're not our ultimate hope for salvation. He says that that can't rescue us from the really big problems. When this virus has passed by, we'll still have all kinds of things going on to contend with, won't we? And really, technology and healthcare can never get to the root of our problems. So what can? The answer, strangely enough, is fear. Listen to the next few lines. "Behold, the eye of the Lord is on those who fear him, on those who hope in his steadfast love." Now, to have God's eye on you might sound a bit scary, like a kind of big brother CCTV kind of thing, but really it means that God has a personal, special interest on these people who fear him. What does it mean to fear God? Well, it's a phrase that's often used in the Bible and often misunderstood. Fear here isn't a kind of cringing, kind of afraid, scary kind of fear, but fear is a taking God so seriously that other things become less important. Recognizing that God is so big and so strong that if we put him in the right place, well, everything else falls into place around it. He says that those who fear him hope in his steadfast love. They know that God is big and strong and loving, and they know that he keeps his promises. His love is steadfast. It keeps going whatever is happening in our world or in our lives. That he may deliver their soul from death and keep them alive in famine. God is the one who sustains and provides and really brings all healing, whether it's healing that comes through medicine or healing that occasionally comes in a supernatural way. But ultimately, our hope isn't in God delivering us out of our circumstances. Often he does, and that's wonderful, and we give thanks to him for it. But our hope is in the God who stays with us and who is steadfast and faithful, whatever our circumstances are, whether we're sick or whether we're better, whether we're facing death or whether we're celebrating new life in our family. The God who is with us in all of those situations. And this is how he ends. He says, "Our soul waits for the Lord. He is our help and our shield." They're recognizing that their hope and their help come from this God, this one who is steadfast and faithful and who can be relied on. Our heart is glad in him because we trust in his holy name. Let your steadfast love, O Lord, be upon us, even as we hope in you. I wonder what you're hoping for. Hoping for a return to normality, hoping that you don't get sick, hoping that somebody that you know who is sick will get better. Those are all great things to hope for, and we can ask God in prayer to bring those things about. But ultimately, the only solid foundation for hope is the fear of the Lord, putting God in the right place at the top of the pile of all of our concerns and worries, and saying that God is bigger than anything that we face.